be bringing you Demystifying Detox. Okay, so let's get started. And the reason why I am so excited about this topic is because detoxing has baffled me for a long time. And I want to say it's probably taken about this year. I really feel like I've gotten a more handle on it. And it probably started like, I think the baffling part of detox kind of started when people would stop and ask me about like doing a cleanse or doing a detox. And this like was probably like 15, 20 years ago. They, knew I was, either studying medicine or I had completed my doctorate. Like I clearly remember being stopped by like family, friends who were interested in doing some sort of detox. And they was like, well, what do you think about that? And I wish I could say that Detox 101 was in medical school, but it really wasn't. And when they would tell me about like the type of detox they were doing, so for instance, it could have been um, they were detoxing using cayenne pepper and lemon, and maybe they was gonna drink that for a few days. So um this and this is what they would do, and they wouldn't have any food. And I was like, okay, well, why do you want to like why do you want to do that kind of thing? It didn't even sound fun. All right, but for a while people have been detoxing. So just to get an idea, just pop in the chat for me, has anyone done a detox before, or haven't done it completely new, just say like new to detoxing. But if you have done a detox, just let me know. Like just say, I've done a detox before, because I would be I really want to kind of get a gauge. Are you guys completely new to detoxing or not? So give you guys a second to do that.
I know how to do that.
All right. All right. Okay. All right. Good morning, Miss Rhonda. So I think Miss Rhonda's saying she's new. Um, yeah, there's a few. So, that have kind of done detoxing, and some people who are done new. And oh, somebody's been doing some celery juicing and some metals maybe detox. All right, that sounds like, they are like right up my alley. So, all right, good. It's good to know. It's good to know. So we have some newbies and we have some more experienced detoxers. All right. All right. Okie dokie. So let's go to the next slide. So let's get started. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my story when it comes to detoxing, because like I said, for a long time, when people talk to me about detoxing, I kind of didn't get it. I didn't yeah, I really didn't get it. And it seemed so uncomfortable and awkward to kind of do like a detox, and somebody cleanses sounded like they was a lot. And you would end up either like pooping all the time or like just drinking water. And I'm like, I love to eat. So I was like, detoxing was like, okay, what's all that about? So I am one of those doctors who likes the most difficult patients, the complex patients, the ones that like people are like, I don't know what to do with other doctors. And one of my colleagues who's a GP, she would always send me like these really interesting cases who she was just like, I don't know what to do. And I would just like spend the time trying to figure it out these. cases. So they will be what I would call my hot masses, right? And I love a hot mass, right? They always help me to learn more about like medicine and just like diving deep into the root cause and really helping them to kind of heal. Because, you know, for most of my hot mass clients, they've done a lot of conventional therapy, they've been to a lot of doctors and still weren't getting any better and weren't kind of getting the results that they really wanted to see in their health. So uh, I would say that the hot, like, you know, like having the experience of working with these people and, you know, starting to delve more into diet, which is what I was doing with, you know, the weight loss management part of it, seeing some progress, but also starting to see some challenges, really started to kind of open up my eyes to stuff that I just wasn't really comfortable with. And what I was starting to recognize, especially with my more difficult patients and things like that, is yes, we can get to a certain point with like adjusting diet, fixing vitamins and mineral deficiencies and things like that. But it was not until I started to focus more on toxins that we started to get really major results with them. And I also think about some of the cases that actually came to me and they weren't detoxifying really great, and we're just ending up with all sorts of other complications. So I started to want to delve more deeper into learning about detoxification. So it was about 2 years ago, almost actually probably now 3 years ago, that me and Dr. Famous had gone to a conference, and we were doing a detoxification course. So it was like 3 days, and we was, you know, having, you know, speakers from pretty much all over the US who were gurus on toxicology and detoxification processes. And it was funny because 2 weeks before that, I had started to not feel so well. So I actually thought that I was like sick. I was like not like really really sick, but I was definitely starting to feel tired, not myself. I had gotten like a cold, but was like it was like taking a long time to shake. And doctor and I thought, I really thought that I probably had cancer. I was like, you know what, I was like, I do so much good stuff for my health, I think I might have cancer. And Dr. Famous is like, why don't you like take a pregnancy test? So I took a pregnancy test. Long story short, I didn't have cancer, I was pregnant, and that was with my third kid. And so, you know, we had this course book, so I went to this course and we was talking all about just toxins and just how much toxins we have in our environment and how much it's like affecting everybody essentially, because it's really hard to live in a bubble and not be experiencing these toxins. And I am like freshly pregnant, and I already knew I wanted to start detoxifying. But, you know, for the last 7 years, if you know me, I'm either been pregnant or I'm breastfeeding. So I didn't comfortably, like, I didn't feel like I could do it comfortably or safely. You know, I wanted to kind of obviously protect my kids and, you know, my babies from getting toxic overload. So, having said that, I'm in this course, I'm learning all about toxins and things like that. And I'm like, it started to cry, like I'm bawling. It's probably partly the pregnancy hormones, but I'm just like, oh no, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm toxic. I already knew I was. I'm, you know, about to pass all these toxins onto the baby. And I was like really, really freaked out. And you know, I got a chance. I had to pull one of the professors aside, who's like, you know, a really amazing toxicologist, and I was like, "What am I gonna do?" She was like, "Well, be happy," like, you know, she was like, "Well, calm down. It's just gonna all be okay. But you should be happy you're pregnant." I was like, "I am, but I'm not feeling well, and I'm toxic." And she was like, "You know, it'll be all right." And the truth is that it is going to be all right. And we know a lot now about how to detox, which is really, 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 really good. So you guys are already starting to ask questions about what is considered to be a toxin, and I am going to explain toxins to you so in a few minutes. So all right, this is actually where we're gonna go now. So let's talk about toxins and what toxins are, okay? And why would I even be even crying about toxins and toxic blood? I've never been a drinker, I've never been a smoker, um, but I ended up with quite a bit of toxicity, which I was able to test for. And it's it's like um why I kind of like I was like with all the toxins I've got in my body, I must have wow partied hard, or we could think of it in the other way. It's a good thing that I didn't do all that sort of stuff. So what we have to kind of understand is that there's a lot of there's a big chemical industry, right? A manufacturing industry that are pumping out lots of pretty much toxins or chemicals that we end up using in our house and in our environment. So one of the big offenders, and I think that's the whole thing, is a lot of times we kind of are coming across these toxins and we have no idea. And there's not truthfully a lot of regulation around like these products and how they're used, because they're not really used for ingestion and stuff like that. Um, so you have like memory foam. Like one of the biggest things that was very striking to me in the conference was learning how toxic the memory foam is. So there's memory foam pillows and the memory foam mattresses. Well, I slept on one for at least 4 to 5 years. And a lot of people use them, and you see them a lot now, and now they're used in shoes and things like that. But that product, or what the fumes that you get from that product, are actually quite toxic, and that came up a lot in the course. And then you have things like air fresheners and um, Glade or Febreze and those sorts of things. So in those chemicalized like air fresheners, they have phthalates, and phthalates is what we call an endocrine disruptor. It actually disrupts our hormones. So that's another toxin. So what we're finding now is that when toxicologists, or we go into people's homes and we're looking at the air quality within the home, there is so much toxins and air quality issues in there that is actually better. The air outside is cleaner than the air inside. So those are like a few of it, but it could be furniture. It could be what they spray on the furniture to make it stain resistant, or like waterproof or repellent, or even flame resistant. So if your house caught on fire, so it can be pretty much, or anything from the varnish that they use, so, or the type of floor that you put down. So the nice hardwood floors now have what they call high VOCs, which is volatile components in it, or volatile organic carbonates in it. So that also is something that can be leached, or formaldehyde, these preservatives. So it gets really, really nitty gritty. And those are just the toxins in the environment. And those are pretty much what we could be getting exposed to depending on what you have in your home. And then it can be other stuff. So then you have cosmetics, and you have plastics that the cosmetics are in. And then you're probably bringing foods in, and foods are now contaminated with, as you see, lots of insecticides or pesticides, because that's what they want to kind of, spray to make sure that they have the maximum yield from their crop. And then you have heavy metals. So heavy metals are really, really big, but we're getting heavy metals from the food being contaminated with. For instance, arsenic is heavily contaminated with certain foods like rice because of the grounds in China being heavily contaminated with arsenic because of the pollution that they have there. And so these fields where they're growing the rice are growing in fields that are heavily contaminated with arsenic. And then bam, you now have arsenic in your rice. And if you're, like what like my kids or our family is if you're, or if you want to go gluten free, or you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go gluten free, I'm going to do something really great for myself, but you're starting to use more like rice products, and you could be also now getting more arsenic toxicity. So, and then there is mold. So, mold's one of those kind of organic things that we don't think about, but there are mold toxins that actually can also affect our body. And being that we are in, generally, most of us are in Bermuda, am I right? So, so we understand that mold is an issue. And I used to ask people, because when I was looking for like, okay, what could be making somebody sick, I always ask, is there mold in your house? And no, I don't even ask that anymore. Now my question is, how much mold do you think is in your house? Like, do you have a lot? Do you see it a lot, or is there a little bit? So there are actually toxins that come with mold as well. And then there's, implants, so sometimes we have stuff that is implanted into our body. It could be cosmetic, but it also could be related to some sort of prosthetic or some type of surgery, like a medical need, that can also implant things into our body that also are toxic. And there are medications. There are medications that we know as probably to be somewhat safe, but are also could be considered toxic depending on also how much we are using them. So one of my pretty complex cases, like at least this year, or very notable this year, was a young woman who had been on birth control for about 25 years before thinking to take a break. So 25 years of a birth control pill is actually, of an artificial hormone, is actually quite toxic for our body, when in general our bodies are not used to having that much um, artificial hormone. So yeah, so Miss Thomason, I just brought some dining room chairs, and when I turned one of them over and read the label was like, warning, this product can expose you to chemicals including formaldehyde. And that is very, very real. It's very, you know, it's, you have to actually do more work now just to make sure that you're consciously buying stuff that has, like they say, low VOC furniture, which is not going to emit of harmful chemicals to you. So it's pretty much the standard now that a lot of furniture now out there is actually can be quite toxic to you, which is a little bit unfair, but that it's all about having the awareness now. So those are the types of toxins that you're working with. Now there's acute toxicity, right? That's where somebody like probably ingests I usually see this with kids. They have an accidental ingestion. They get into something that they shouldn't get into. And always the word of stuff like toilet bowl clean or something like that. And they'll want to drink that because they think that looks awesome. And they could get really sick that way. Um, like my kid, the baby scared me to death. She opened up detergent, like a potted detergent, and she wanted to drink that, and completely burned her mouth. So that is a acute toxicity. So that's like, you know a large amount of probably toxin that kind of can make you sick at one time. And usually those need like hospitalizations. And most physicians are really on kind of point when it comes to those. We have poison control that we would liaise with, and we would do as much as we can to support the body to help to get that toxin out of the body. And there you have this chronic toxicity. And pretty much, I would say acute toxicity is really in the gamuts of like 2%, even probably less than that. And then everybody else is dealing with this, chronic toxicity. That's like 98% of our population is chronic toxicity. And it's about like having and being exposed to chemicals on just like a low grade level that are just starting to stack up in anybody. All right. The elimination process. How do we get rid of toxins? All right. So now that we know that toxins are coming in, they're coming in whether we like it or not, whether we are conscious of it or not, whether we are choosing to or not, we're not living in a bubble because we got to live our lives. So these toxins are coming in. So how do we get toxins out? All right. So toxins generally are coming out in a few ways. We pee them out, we poop them out, we sweat them out. And if you're a female, because I see some dudes on, if you're a female, you are also going to dump those toxins into your newborn fetus. So we used to think that the placenta, right, and that kind of barrier creates a nice barrier for the baby, and only the nutrients and the nice food and everything like that is going to come in, or the vitamins and minerals is going to come in. But that's not the case. Actually, we can really dump heavy metals and phthalates and all those sorts of chemicals that we're getting in our system into the baby. So that was my panic. I was like, oh no, I knew I got toxins and I got a new baby and she's getting all this stuff from me. And I was like, man, that's not cool. So, that's another way that women can get. And so I've actually followed families, right? I've gotten, I see 0 to 99 and beyond. So I have gotten to see, where the oldest may be more toxic, right, of the child, and they have more symptoms, right? They come and they have more complaints. Then the youngest, not so much. And then if they have another one, then not so much, especially if the mom is having her kids back to back. But then I've also kind of seen the opposite, where especially if a mom is taking a big break. So she had a kid really early in her like say like 19, 20, like early. That kid generally was a fine because mommy didn't have a lot of toxins built up by then when she had her child. And then maybe she went like a long stretch, like 10 or 15 years, and then had another kid. And that kid who pretty much had all the toxins between 20 and 30 years of age, she now has a little bit more of a toxic child, that she's working with, is the youngest. So it can kind of go a little bit of ways. The star of the show, though, and that's what's going to help to package your body and help you to get rid of these toxins, is the liver. Now, one of the things that the liver will do is sometimes, actually, a lot of the times, is the liver wants to protect the rest of the body from these toxins. And so, what it does is the liver starts to sequester. It grabs up the toxins and it kind of stores them. So you can get toxins that the liver kind of grabbed up from when you was a child, and it's just sitting in your liver, and the liver's just waiting for a time to dump it out. And our genetics also matter as to how the whole ease of this process is. So what we're understanding from the genes come in. So I swear, and everybody knows it, they have somebody they know who can like, like drink, eat whatever they want, smoke whatever they want. And then, I've heard of it, right? I would tell somebody, stop smoking because it's going to cause cancer. And then they'll be like, oh, well, my uncle was 90 something and he lived to be 90 something and he smoked all his life, right? So I have to say, it's a little bit of a kind of, luck of the draw when it comes to genetics as to how well. So some people detoxify very well. So they're the ones that the toxins can come in and the body is really, really good at getting it all out. And those would be, like you said, the ones who can pretty much do whatever they want. Shoot, they can probably drink gasoline and be okay. And then you have others, and geez, their genetics and their detoxification pathways are really not great, or really stalled, or really knocked on. And they could just sniff Febreze and then they're sick and they're toxic, right? And they've got autoimmune issues and all sorts of stuff. So, all right, how does detoxification work? All right. So when you guys, so some of you guys have done detoxes before or tried a partial detox and done that. So what I think that you was trying to do, or what a detox should do, is a detox should really boost your body's natural cleansing abilities, and particularly by supporting the liver. So the liver is really one of your biggest organs when it comes to really helping your body with toxins and storing them until it's pretty much safe to get rid of them. So when you do a detoxification program or work, you're going to actually be helping the liver. You're going to be resting the other organs, and you also kind of take some pressure off the liver, because the liver does, like, okay, so the liver is responsible for 2,000 critical functions in your body. And but if it's really busy doing, like, processing lots of food and fats and things like that for you, the liver does not have time to really help you to get rid of all these toxins that it's just storing. So when you do a detox, you're going to rest the organs, you're going to help to stimulate the liver so it feels comfortable to dump those. You're going to be able to dump them. So you're going to be peeing more. You are going to be pooping more, ideally. It improves the circulation. So you're improving the circulation, which is also the lymphatic system. And you're refueling the body with really good nutrients and vitamins to help the body. Now, this is something to write down, guys, if you haven't read this book already. Um, I think he does a really good job of explaining how amazing the liver is in this process, and also how the whole cleansing process works, and how to kind of do it safely. And that book is called Cleanse to Heal by Anthony William. And he also has another one called Liver Rescue. Both are really excellent. And I will highly recommend you guys to read those books. So, warning, it is that if you do not do a detoxification right, you may make things worse, like really worse. So, I had one guy who had came in to visit us for a consultation. He was a kind of an overseas gentleman and happened to be just visiting the island and coming in to kind of get an opinion about what was going on with him. He had a history of obesity and had lost lots of weight, like 80 to 100 pounds, and he lost his weight. At the time he was losing his weight, he actually felt like he was in pretty good health, but was losing his weight because he was getting up in age and really felt like, they told him that it was time for him to um it was time for him to kind of pretty much like start working on his weight and his diet. So after he lost the weight, what happened was he actually became paralyzed from pretty much the weight down. He developed a peripheral kind of neuropathy. And I was like, the what we don't understand, and what I kind of grew to understand when I was doing weight loss as a real huge focus, was that when people lose weight, there is certain places where toxins hide. So I mentioned the liver. The liver tries to store, but toxins will also hide in the nerves, and they will also hide in the fat cells. And so what essentially had happened with him is that when he lost the weight and the fat cells shrunk, they released toxins, and it was actually a toxin overload. And instead of the body being able to get rid of the toxins, it actually affected the nerves. So it wasn't surprising when, he did test and studying that his mercury levels were really high, because that mercury is one of those really bad players, and mercury will really, really go and damage the nerves. And so that's one of the things that kind of clued me into that, is realizing that once you have to kind of know what you're doing when you're detoxifying, because you do not want to end up really damaging or hurting your body. Because the reason why the liver does kind of store these toxins is because they can hurt other parts of the body. And so it really tries to kind of like get them out of the blood system as soon as possible. But if your whole blood system is just like flush and the liver can't keep up, then these are the things that you start to see. So, um, right. So, and I had another case, and I had another case. This lady, I had been following, and she had been actually been working with our weight loss. And this was the time before I was really, like I said, like, I kind of had my journey, and I wasn't focusing so much on the detoxification or supporting people. I just didn't have that knowledge base. And she was doing really, really good, was losing weight really, really well. And towards the end, because she worked with us for a year, and towards the end of her program, she ended up diagnosed with like like a leukemia type of illness, which is like a blood cancer. And my suspicion was is that that might have also been toxin driven and toxin related, which is, you see enough of those cases, and that was enough for me to start really kind of pointing and focusing on and incorporating detoxification into what we do. So, all right. Do you exhibit any of these symptoms? So, signs of toxicity are, gosh, they're very subtle, but they're also very common. So, I'm gonna start off because I think, I know I've got most of adults, but I think, it can be anything from, we start to see toxicity in babies, and we can also see it as we get older. So I'm just gonna go from what I see from babies, tell you what I see in children, and I'll tell you what I see in adults. So babies generally can exhibit colic, skin issues, reflux. And when I say skin issues, this would be like your eczema, frequent rashes and things like that. That's a good sign that a baby is toxic. And no wonder that was like all of my kids, except actually the last one. um, and the children, there's a few things. I see behavioral issues when it comes to like attention, depression, anxiety, constipation, sleep disturbances, food sensitivities, headaches, stomach pains, bedwetting. Bedwetting is actually really common, especially bedwetting in the older years. So after 2, 3 years old, having those bedwetters, that's definitely a sign. So I've been having the benefit of working with a young girl, who is about middle school age, and she's been having bedwetting issues, and let me just see, and she's been having bedwetting issues, and when we checked, we also found high levels of mercury for her. Um, so it's not uncommon. You can get weight issues for kids. So kids getting obese or having issues with obesity, um, precocious puberty, and even armpit smell. Let me just see if I can. I have somebody I think somebody. Let me, let me see.
We have organic seeds. If you ever want to
Uh,
buy some.
actually,
Except I think my brother was given it already. Or grease on, I never got them.
Mm-hmm.
actually, I think that is.
Thanks.
Yes, you buy something. Mama, what seeds do you have? You have a catalog somewhere?
Yes.
Online?
Me trying to put them online.
Okay, there we go. All right, those are my counterparts. All right. So armpit smell. Kids who start developing armpit smell very early, like 7. I've even seen kids who are developing armpit smell as early as 5 or 6. Needing to use deodorant. That's also a sign of toxicity. Okay. And so detoxing for them is also really important. And Doctor, we actually, my goddaughter, and this is kind of hit to him, and Sabrina don't really mind me telling you guys this. Dr. Famous, we kind of had that experience with Dr. Famous's daughter. And when we did her toxin levels, because she started to have armpit smells, concerns for like precocious puberty, that sort of thing, like her body was starting to develop way sooner than it should. We did her toxin levels, and she had high levels of a pesticide called DEET, that we have concerned that was actually what was causing that issue. So we've been actually working with her to detoxify her. And actually, when we first started her detoxification, within a few months, Dr. Famous said the smell of her armpits actually went away. So that was really, really cool. Now, adults, you guys, so it could be anything. So, when my early adults could be infertility, and this could be infertility for women, but also infertility for men as well. So issues with sperm motility, issues with sperm counts is also pretty big. Is definitely a sign for that there's toxin. Menstrual issues, fibroids, or just really, really painful cramps. Obesity, depending on the type of weight. So especially that abdominal weight, it almost also looks like that burr belly type of weight. A very, very concerning that the liver is really struggling, and there's a toxin issue there as well. And cancers, as I mentioned, that's a toxin issue. Some cancers more than other, but it can be anything. Like I've seen breast cancer be linked to toxicity, prostate, bladder cancers, leukemia, brain cancers, those sorts of things. High blood pressure is also a big one, also linked to toxins. I follow a Dr. Mark Houston, who's an amazing functional cardiovascular doctor. He mainly deals with cardiovascular disease by finding the root cause. And one of the biggest things that he finds, which is a component of high blood pressure, is heavy metal toxins, which really cause inflammation in the body and leading to the blood pressures to be up. And then mood issues, depression, anxiety, those sorts of things. And there are some doctors who even link more major issues like schizophrenia to detoxifications, or issues with toxins being high, and that person not being able to detox well, especially detoxing from the brain. Because that's, like I said, there's some toxins that love the nerves. There's no more nerves than what you would have in your brain. That's the biggest concentration of nerves is in your brain. And so they could be affected there. All right. So what are others saying? So detoxing, once you kind of put in the work, and it does take work, and you to really get on top and really help your body to really start to release these toxins, you do see amazing results, and things get better. I like to share stories with you guys because one, I think short stories are really helpful. I have one young girl whose story is really impressive to me. So as you know, like this last year, it's been a big detoxification. This young girl had come to me about a few years ago, and with lots of stuff going on. So she had tic disorder, she had OCD, she was having learning disabilities and learning challenges, so much that mom had to take her out of, several times she had to be taken out of like mainstream schooling to be homeschooled. She was having depression, anxiety, night terrors, lots of stuff going on. Her mom had was able to do some work. So some of the pressure was taken off her body by just switching off her diet. So really doing a big elimination diet, and really trying to boost like lots of fruits and vegetables in her diet, she was able to come back and start to do school. So some of her symptoms, such as the tics, got better. Some of her learning issues were getting better with that. However, not until we started to detoxify her that we saw some really, really huge shifts. So she had high levels of mercury, heavy metal toxicity. And so we started to put her on a gentle detoxification. She detoxed pretty well over 6 months. And by summertime, I ran into her and she was like a different girl. She was like, Dr. Peets Talbot, I'm off my diet. I'm eating everything. I'm just not having the tics, not having the anxiety, depression, and everything like that. So that was really, really amazing for her. Now she's going into her teenage years and she's definitely getting some normalcy for her. So that was really good. And then I have one client who had worked with us for a couple of years, and we really started to hone on detoxification and detoxification support for her. She had a history of, weight issues, and she had multiple sclerosis. She was really young when she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, like in her 30s. And to the point where she had to use a cane, she was having issues with blindness and those sorts of stuff. And we had tested and we had found a toxin level called Valium, which is something that you would get from gas fumes. And apparently she had been a gas attendant in her teenage years. And what we did with her was like over lots of support, but with the detoxification process, she was no more cane, she was golfing, she was knitting, she was doing yoga regularly. So amazing things. So she had to take, because of her illness, she had to pretty much essentially stop work. And just this year, she started back working again. So really, really, really good stuff happens when you are detoxifying. All right. So it's obvious, when it comes to the external factors, the chemicals in the clothing, furniture, and cleaning supplies, I think you guys are starting to get an awareness about those. But the reason why we put together our diving deep into detox course is because environmental toxins are really huge, and we want people to kind of learn about them, do that. But the other thing that we have to be really, really conscious of is food, and the types of foods that we eat that are not really, really serving them. And it's funny because I think I can do a presentation now. As much as, okay, I don't really try that hard, but I definitely can do a presentation now without mentioning these foods, and these foods are what you really, really should be avoiding. And those are gluten, dairy, sodas, processed sugars, and processed foods. It's so funny that just the other day, one of my really, really close friends were asking me about their kid, and I was like, yeah, you got to cut out the gluten and the dairy. And they was like, I knew you was going to say that. Like, I wouldn't expect it, nothing different, right? Because I'm just that person now. I think it's there's so much knowledge about gluten and what it can do now and other different grains and stuff like that and how toxic they are to the body, it's just, I have to be that doctor. So it gets a little bit boring, but you guys, there are these foods, so write them down if you don't know already. Gluten, very toxic, and really, really bad for you. Dairy, all right. Meats, particularly your red meats and your heavy fat meats. So I also issue processed foods, sodas, and sugars, and even some sugar substitutes. Well, really, truthfully, all the sugar substitutes that are not natural are not good for you. All right. So the effects of these toxic foods, and so why I care so much about these toxic foods is because the problems that they lead to. It could be high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, weight issues, cancers, as I mentioned, osteoporosis. So osteoporosis was one of those ones that I really thought it was related to hormones. It was related to um, genetics, possibly. It was related to these, like, your build and things like that. So being a thinner build woman, that you was likely to get it, those sorts of things, until I met a 30-year-old with osteoporosis. And then I was like, okay, what else is going on here? So there is a connection with osteoporosis with inflammation and toxins, and inflammation related to toxins in particular. So if that is something that runs in your family, or is something that's on your radar, or something you have been diagnosed with, then it's a little bit more than just giving calcium and vitamin D3 that will help you to kind of get on top of that. Autoimmune conditions, hugely, hugely, hugely affected by toxic food. Other diagnoses like fibromyalgia, chronic pain syndrome, um, kidney, liver disease, those sorts of things. Alrighty. So far removed from food. So this is obviously, right? This is an obvious picture of food that we really shouldn't eat. But guess what, guys? I see vegetarians. I see people who are doing keto. I see people who are doing vegan. I see pescatarians. Do not disturb. So I see all sorts of people from who are got all sorts of different diets, who have issues with toxin and toxic burden, and for various reasons, whatever they're getting in that diet, it's just really not supporting the liver. So just a quick survey, how much of you guys do you guys are doing, anybody who's vegetarian, anybody who's keto, anybody who's vegan, anybody who's just a fish and chicken, or just give me an idea of, like, are you guys got any sort of like diets you kind of prescribe? Some people could be keto and vegetarian. Just let me know. I'll give you guys a second. So all right, so we got some vegans. All right. I love that comment. Just like food. Me too, right? I just like food, Whole30 mainly. Okay, so mostly like more like the elimination style, fish only, no shell food. Eat everything. Nice. All right. So, right, it's a gamut. So there's a few. The reason why I say that is because it's not easy. I'll tell you that. I was like, it really, really isn't easy. Everybody's a little bit different. But no matter what your diet is, or percent what you're trying to eat, there is definitely a benefit from taking like a week or a week and a half out of your year, or out of every few months, just to kind of like focus on helping the liver and helping the body to detoxify. Alrighty. Okie dokie. You guys. All right. So we have got a few more, slides actually, and then I want to kind of get to the nitty gritty. But guys, I drank a lot of water just before I came because that's what I do. I detoxify. So I am going to give us a 3-minute break. I'm just going to run to the bathroom so I can concentrate on talking to you guys. So I'm just going to pause for a second, okay? And don't move, don't leave me. Just I'll be right back. All right, guys. I am back. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Jeez, when you drink a lot of water, like I'm doing a mild detox right now, it is a lot to have to pee. And then my worst nightmare after having 3 kids is peeing my pants. So, all right. Thank you for your patience. Carmen asks, are allergies caused by toxins? Yes. Short answer, yes. Okay. Yes, that's one of the reasons that we are understanding now. So what's great also about like when you do a detox and you do shift a little bit, especially you start to kind of crave less of the bad stuff and actually more of the good stuff. And one of the things that because we've been doing detoxification, really helping people to detoxify, we find that a few of our patients are finding that their palate and their taste buds are shifting, whereas even after detoxifying, they're not even interested in kind of going back to some of the bad foods that they was eating before, or I would say, the not so great foods for them. So it's great because when you do detoxify, and a lot of that happens to be is that what's interesting is, I think about toxins is that toxins can feed other things in your body, such as candida, right? So other funguses and stuff like that. Well, candida can trick your brain, or like it somehow sends signals that tells your body to eat more sugary and cravey foods. So when you detox and you knock down the candida and things like that, you actually stop to have those cravings. Like I find this like all fascinating, but all how it kind of ties into each other. So I think that that's really cool. All right. All right. So the reason why, most detoxification, so for those who eat everything and who are generally not vegan already, or who are uh maybe like still maybe having chicken or so in their diet. The reason why, when you're doing any sort of detoxification and you're cutting out meat, is because we have to give the liver, which is processing these meats, and the digestive system, we have to give that a break so it can actually stop doing that heavy lifting and actually start to do the cleaning out process. Okay, so that is why we do that. So what we find is that meats slow down the digestion. So what especially red meats is they are more likely to constipate you, just because it's just harder to work and just harder to move through, especially if you're not putting a lot of fiber through with that. So, and that's not what you want when you want to detoxify as well. So let's see. So that's why that is. All right. So what you do want to do when you're doing detoxification is definitely getting more of the good foods. So safe detoxing is really truthfully about all really about what you're eating, and the type of foods that you're eating. And as I said, when it comes to us and how we're being kind of guiding people, it's really helping them to kind of shift generally just the type of foods and how they're kind of putting them together. All right, so let's see. All right, what I wanted you guys to have is a few things that if you were going to be wanting to just start some light and gentle detoxification right now without any, I don't know, without a lot of prep work, these are just some of the things that you can really start to do right now. So the first thing to do is lemon water. And lemon water, you want to aim to get, I would say start off with 16 ounces, but you can always do more. So first thing in the morning, the first thing you do within about a half an hour of waking up, you want to get in a big glass of lemon water. And people ask me, well, how much lemon to squeeze? Ideally, you're going to squeeze a whole lemon into your 16 ounces and drink that. And then people, next question they ask me is, it should it be from concentrate or fresh? Ideally fresh, so a fresh lemon. If I don't like lemon, will limes work? Yes, limes or lemons. Another thing that you want to do is also just prior to going to bed is to do another thing, 16 ounces or 24 or more. You can always do more, if you can tolerate the going to the bathroom. But if you want to do this, ideally, first thing when waking up and also bedtime. Okay, so just before bed, exactly. um and that's really something that you can do no matter what you're eating for the rest of the day. And the reason why lemon and limes are really, really helpful is they help the liver. They're very supportive to the liver. They're very supportive for the liver to help to get those toxins out, and get them ready and packaged out. So what happens during the night is that the liver does clean up. All right. Remember, sometimes the liver feels like it can actually clean up what comes through the day at night. And especially when you give it lemon water in the morning, it more likely feels like, if you think about the liver doing all the sweeping up, I feel like the lemon water is the dustpan, right? The little dustpan broom that comes and like just dumps everything and helps everything to just kind of dump out. So that's what you want to do. And you also want to kind of help the liver just before you go to bed as well, to make it even feel more confident that it can get some of that cleaning done for you at night. So that's why lemon and limes are really, really amazing for doing that. And if you didn't do anything else, that would still be hugely beneficial for your body. So this is something that been mostly lemon and lime water for pretty much the greater part of this year. I wouldn't say every day, but most days I definitely get in my lemon and lime water. What I feel is really, really great is how well I feel like I'm doing as far as cold and flu and those sorts of things. I kind of chalked it up to, always having small children, but I definitely felt like my immune system hasn't been robust. But since doing the lemon and limes, feel definitely ready for anything, any virus. Bring it on. I'm cool. I know I'm all right. Got my lemon and limes. Another thing is your juices and your smoothies. And somebody had mentioned early on, there are two amazing juices that you can be doing right now, that really help your body with detoxification and the detoxification process and helping you to hydrate and really love your liver. And that's cucumber juice and celery juice. And then the smoothie that is so amazing, even for kids, and just a gentle way to help your body to detox, is a smoothie called heavy metal detox smoothie. So it actually tells you exactly what it's doing. Heavy metal detox smoothie. This is a smoothie that I'm getting my parents to do. I've been doing it my kids. I've been doing it my kids probably since the summertime. They like it. They don't complain about it. And what we're gonna do is so celery juicing is pretty easy. Lots that's pretty self-explanatory. The smoothie is not. So what we're gonna do is, for everybody who registered, don't worry, we will send you the recipe for that. You can also Google it, so you can write it down. Heavy metal detox smoothie. Okay. All right. So age your detox. So what you want to do is, that's the, that's pretty much, I think if you can incorporate any one of those modalities that I just talked about into your life, between your lemon water, your celery juice, and your heavy metal detox, maybe like you're going to be on point. But what you also want to do is just add a few other things. All right. So you want to make sure that you're eating lots of fruits and vegetables, right? I always tell people that fruits and vegetables should be like a part of every meal, right? And of course, you want to make sure you wash things, and if you can get it organic, then ideally, go for that. Remember, organic still does not mean that it's completely clean. It just means that it just has less toxins. So you have to still wash anything, especially even if it's organic. And then really helpful herbs that you want to probably get in during this time is dandelion root, milk thistle. Those are already good herbs. Vitamin C is amazing, because it helps the body produce what's called glutathione, and that helps a liver, like it's a compound that helps the liver to drive away the toxins. Okay, and it also helps to buffer the toxins because it's an antioxidant, right? And the toxins sometimes can be very mischievous coming out, and so antioxidants help to buffer that and surround the toxins so that they do not really cause much damage to your body as it coming out. And then you want to drink lots and lots of water, lots and lots of water, and breathe. Really take out the time to just kind of rest. And another thing will be really good to help with your circulation is saunas, because they help to get that sweating out, and so they help, another way for the toxins to go out. And dry brushing. So dry brushing also gets the lymphatics and helps the circulation. So that's also another way to detoxify. So if you guys, so those are your I would say a good 30% of what you could be doing that you can start now. And even though it sounds like maybe 30% is not a lot, but just doing this and implementing that into as many days as you can is going to give you huge benefits. You're going to be able to start detoxing without having like with one, protecting your body. So these are all safe, this is all gentle. You can even do it on as young as, like young kids if you have them, or as old as you have as well. So however, if you guys want to take things deeper, if you really want to work deeper with us and deep dive more into detoxing, then we have My Health Reno. And the whole goal of my health reno is, and why we created is knowing that we have to put detoxification first before we help people renovate their health and upgrade their life. So this is why we created it. After working with hundreds of patients, we noticed specific patterns. People wanted to take fewer pills and learn more skills. And we want to bring health into people's homes to benefit the entire family. So this is something that really can elevate everybody that you live with. And we believe that you, the patient, are the doctor of the future. And being healthy should be affordable and transferable. What is My Health Reno? It's an affordable online 6 week group based personal transformation program. It results in a mental and biological and physical transformation. It produces safe and sustainable weight loss. It addresses and corrects the underlying causes of chronic disease. And it's safe and it's gentle and it's an effective way to detox. So My Health Rhino, we break it up into 6 weeks, and you start off with a pre-assessment, on-site visit, and review of biomarkers and supplements for weight loss. So the vitamin C, zinc, and a lot of other great things are in there as well. You have your 2, 3, and 4 and 5 weeks is all about learning about toxins and how to support the liver more. We'll start a cleanse, which is our 369. It's a 9 day amazing cleanse that we walk you through. We know it's sometimes very tough to do this on your own. And so just having the support of a whole team behind you can really, really help. And then 6 week 6 is we talk about life after the cleanse and what you're going to do and how you're going to help to kind of really get the benefits to continue for yourself. And we also do a post-assessment check-in, so get more of those biomarkers. How is My Health Reno delivered? So My Health Reno is 2 30-minute on-site visits, and you have a pre and post-assessment. You're going to do 6 live 60-minute group-based coaching sessions and weekly question and answer period. And we have health tips and accountability in our private Facebook group, and the lifestyle reset guide and recipe book you're also going to get, and our healing Bermuda book by ORW if you don't have that already, and our supplement kit. So all the supplements that you will need, which is your vitamins and your minerals, that's really going to help you and your liver to detoxify. We have bonuses. So if you do sign up for the My Health Reno, you get the Dive in Deep into Detox program. This is our 5 module online course, and it's self-paced. You do this at your own time, and you learn even how to dive deeper into detoxification, particularly when it comes to those environmental toxins. And then we have Vibrant Blue Oils. This is a blend. It's an essential oil blend specifically targeted to the parasympathetic nervous system. This is your rest and relaxation. And so this is what we need to help to rest the organs so the body can detoxify very naturally, all right, and easily. And then you have lifetime access and to updates and our private Facebook group. And so our clients who have been working with us since the summertime are still members and still joining us and still very much in the conversation. So you have lots of camaraderie, you have lots of support. We talk about our wins and our gains. If we have any issue to troubleshoot, we also help to be a strong encouragement for everybody. And that's a lifetime access. So that's pretty priceless there. That's your third bonus. And then you have direct access and support to Bermuda's best 2020 holistic healthcare practice team. These girls are amazing. They're very dedicated, very diligent, and they're very compassionate and passionate about helping everybody that comes in our practice really to get better and feel better. Everybody from the front desk all the way to the physicians. We really, really, really want to see you guys to thrive. All right. So the total value is 2,421. So that's average for everything that you'll be getting. We have a special pricing, and for one payment of 1,400. or you can do a payment plan. So if you need a payment plan, you can divide that up into 3 payments of only 517. All right, and that would be starting for December 1st. And if you also want, so perhaps you are in a, you want to do it with your husband, or you want to do it with your daughter. We've had a couple of family combinations. And so if it's a family combination, and you guys can do buy one and get the other half off. So you have before December 4th to take advantage of the special pricing. All right. Because right now you save $1,000 if you sign up this week from the regular 2,421. So there's a few ways where you can actually register from now on. So I'm going to pop this link into the chat so you can go straight to the link and make your payment there if that's what's easy for you. Or you can just, we're open right now. You can just call us 295-5100, or just shoot us an email. Just say, hey, I'm interested, and send us your phone number, and then we will call you. And the best place to email us at is info@oceanrockwellness.com. So that's a few ways for you to kind of just take advantage of the special offer and sign up today. So give us a call as soon as possible. Spaces are limited, okay? So we will take about 40 people. So you don't so we want to, and we, like you said, first come, first serve. So you really want to kind of get in and get signed up for the My Health Reno. All right. What also you should know is that we have an Ocean Rock Wellness Guarantee. If you join now, you take action, and you fully participate in My Health Reno program, we are so certain of this process that we would do whatever it takes to help you to get the results you deserve. However, if you do not get those results, you have a money back guarantee, just minus the supplements, because we won't be able to take them back, but you would get the rest of your investment back. All right. So it pretty much is not really anything you have to lose. Okay. All right. And we're going to be there behind you 100%. All right. Okay. So only sign up if you are looking to make a long-term commitment to your health. You are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you are searching for safe, effective, and permanent results. And you are excited to learn life skills, and you are coachable and teachable, right? And you are capable of making an investment in yourself, which means that you prioritize you. You think that you are special. You think that you are worthy. There's all reasons why you should be making an investment in yourself. Remember, you have to take care of yourself first, especially for those people who tend to take care of others. It's really important that you invest and make sure that your health is staying amazing and optimized. All right. So what are our clients saying who have done the My Health Reno? So this is Jamila Aswas. So prior to starting this program, I could feel my health and well-being deteriorating. This was troubling to me as a mother of two small children that deserve to have a mother functioning optimally. After completing the program, I have experienced numerous positive results, such as a clearer mind, increased energy, and noticeable weight loss. I would highly recommend the program for anyone that is looking for a jump start to a healthier life. Ms. Donna Christopher, if you are serious about living your best life at any age, then I would recommend Ocean Rock Wellness. The staff there are very personable, professional, and genuinely interested in your overall health. They provide great programs with no gimmicks, and they actually work and are easy to follow. I recently completed a program that gave me the results that I was looking for, and I came away completely satisfied. If you are serious about changing your life and improving your health, I would recommend you give Ocean Rock Wellness a try, and I guarantee you that you will not be disappointed. All right. Any questions? So question time. I have some frequently asked questions that I will walk through, and then any of you guys take some time, if there's anything I miss and anything that's burning, just go ahead, pop that into the chat box now. So will I lose weight? Definitely during detoxifications. Generally, we tend to have
So you
people
get your money for the month.
and
$10 or $30 or something. Hello. I was looking at the
I'm getting feedback.
I
So let me
highlighted, this is what was said about
um,
the hospital officer staff taking escorts to the hospital. That's what was supposed to be in the truck. Yeah.
okay, here, I'll mute. Okay, there we go. So, all right. All right. So losing weight, yeah, that's pretty much a given. We had if we didn't have our clients lose weight, they lost weight as far as fat, but pretty much so far, everyone who has been a part of the program and has been doing the detoxification has had some form of weight loss. Generally weight loss in the form of fat, which is awesome. Is there a payment plan? Yes. If you do need a payment plan, would like to split the $1,400 into 3 payments, you can. How long is the program? The program is for 6 weeks. Is there testing? So we will do on-site biomarker testing. So this is just very basic things that we can do in the office. For instance, blood pressure, those sorts of monitors, and a body composition. Those are some of the things that are involved in our testing. And these are the parameters that help us to kind of see how well your body has detoxed. If you live outside Bermuda, can I do this program? Yes, you can do the program outside of Bermuda, but there is some logistics as far as, getting the supplements to you that we would like to discuss with you. So if you are outside of Bermuda, interested in the program, the best thing to do is email us first, info@Ocean Rock Wellness, and let us know just exactly where you are, and we can talk about getting you started and enrolled into the program from outside of Bermuda. What if I miss a session? So if you cannot make a session, all the sessions are recorded during the sessions and emailed to you, as well as instructions that you have to do. So we have clients who we do your sessions are on Saturdays, and who were generally working. They had no problem, really taking that time out, looking at the videos, the recorded sessions, going over them, and continuing with their program. All right. So what if I am on medications? Lots of our clients actually came in on medications. It's always good if we have a list of medications that you are on, but this did not really pose a problem. None of the vitamins or supplements will interfere with any of the medications that you were taking, so that's not an issue to worry about. Yeah, it's completely fine and very common for our clients to actually be on medications when they're doing a detoxification. What if I do not lose weight? It's okay if you do not lose weight. Sometimes if you didn't lose weight, it's probably because you didn't have to wait to lose. But I would say I am a pretty thin person. I really didn't have weight to do. When I started to detoxify, I still had a shift in my percent body fat. So my weight didn't shift very much, but my percent body fat did, to a healthier percent body fat. So I have a tendency towards skinny fat, which means that pretty much no matter what I eat, my weight's going to stay the same, but my percent body fat would change. So I'll just get more fatty. But when I detoxify, I actually noticed that I had less fat from my liver. So my visceral fat went down, and also just over more percent body fat actually shifted a little bit. But generally, pretty much everybody's been losing, majority of people have been losing weight. And the only thing I would say that if you really did not lose weight, then that is probably a toxin related still issue, and that you just have to dive a little bit into detoxification, which is why you have us there to support you. Did insurance cover the program? So the insurance does not cover the program. The pricing that you see is the pricing that is without insurance. So because the insurance would not cover a program like this. Can the whole family eat the recipes? Yes, absolutely. We actually encourage that the whole family can eat the recipes. They're very, I think you can make them very delicious, especially like the attention that you put into them. You also have people who can help you prepare those recipes as well. So they are very tasty. Is there any other additional cost? The only other additional cost to really worry about is the grocery bill. So food is not included in the program. So you'll have to, kind of arrange to get your food, but that would be the only other additional cost. All right. So you guys, we rocked it. Let me see if okay, right. So we have some questions coming in and I'll probably just do them a little bit backwards. Okay. When does the course start? The course is actually going to start in January. So we're going to start the third week in January. So give everybody a time to kind of sign up. We also know that the holidays is also a really difficult time for people to kind of deep dive into a class. Some of the things that I talked to you about the lemon water and celery, you can start now. Definitely, I think you can do that a lot through your December. And then January is an excellent time to just really start anew and start off with a class. So we're going to actually start the third week in January, and it's on Saturdays. How many lemons and limes? So yeah, as many lemons and limes as you can. So ideally, you're going to be doing about 2 a day. So if you or at least 1 a day. So you want to start off in the morning again, if you really can, if you really got the time. Also do it again at night. And so ideally that will end up being about 2 a day if you're going to do it, if you're going to do it to perfection. Yeah. Great. Yep. And that's again the first thing you have when you wake up, and then also the last thing you have at night. All right, so we have a question about taking an allergy test. Is this the best way to determine if what you are allergic to can also be toxic to you, creating joint problems, I think? Um, okay, so allergy testing is actually really helpful. And though allergy testing is difficult, so I find that you have to do. All right. All right. So allergy testing can be helpful. I actually find that some of the toxins that are actually built up in your system are also what you're allergic to. For my story, that was true. I When I did my sensitivity and my allergy testing, I actually had aluminum come up, and aluminum was also on my toxicity level testing. So, my body wasn't agreeing with it for 2 days. And I likely think that because I became toxic with aluminum, I also became sensitive to it. So that encouraged me to like get rid of aluminum foil and, changing my cookware. And, I did a lot of stuff to actually, decrease aluminum out of my life. So I hope that answers that question. All right, and I think I answered that one. Are allergies caused by toxins? Yes, toxins can. And so what toxins do is they really confuse the immune system. And so then the body starts to react against foods or things like that it shouldn't react. So yes, we do see a connection between toxin exposure and allergies. All right. Okay, so and then those books that I mentioned before, I would just type out so you guys, it's Cleanse to Heal and Liver Rescue. These books are by an author called Anthony William. Really great thing. So just put that. Okay. All right. And how do you know what you are toxic to that are not food allergies? So, okay, so we can do testing to figure out if that's how I pretty much figured out what my toxins are and what other foods or things like that I could be, because there are also preservatives, there are also food additives, colorants in foods that are artificial that sometimes people have issues to, that aren't really related to, well, that are related to food but are not food per se. They just are associated with food. So testing does that for us as well. All right. So I think I covered all you guys' questions. I look forward to you guys joining us if you want to delve deeper into doing the My Health Reno. It's all about doing a complete health renovation by way of detoxification, and it's all done slowly, gently, safely, and all that good stuff. All right. So I am going to, stop our recording, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.